Hello and welcome to another gameplay review on the Vrcayu gameplay channel. And in this one we have Buff Lee Sin. Buffed Lee Sin. He is buffed, but he was also buffed in the last patch. A little bit of time to get to this one because we had all of the off-meta shenanigans and nonsense. Don't worry, we're back to core junglers. That E going from 10 seconds to 8 seconds. That's a lot. That's a slow. That's damage. You know, you take a 20% decrease on a clearing spell that he's going to use, it's going to help you. In this one, we are against a Diana. I think Diana most likely will become just a core meta jungler, kind of like your Echo archetype, existing in the same sort of fashion. And I'm okay with that, honestly. Some people are not okay with it. I don't know why. I do think she's overtuned. She will be nerfed, thusly. Morgana also will be nerfed. Lee Sin, on the other hand, he is the classic, the ultimate fan favorite, still the highest play rate in the game, and is really only played... Actually, very few people, honestly, can play him to that supreme peak. You know, like, Broxah was at 2019 Worlds when he popped off. You know, that's obviously dipped since then. And you've got all the Korean junglers that are just so supreme. I love watching Kliz Lee Sin. You can list a whole bunch throughout history that have been so good on the champion. You would have seen runes on your screen now. Conqueror, Alacrity, basically the turbo carry runes. As you saw from the thumbnail, we'll be running Eclipse as well for that. So, just to start off with a bit of analysis, as you can see, I'm not really tracking as much where jungler starts in this video because I assume most of you are sort of handling that yourselves. The issue is, in coaching and in other videos and in low elo games, I'm not seeing people actively track it still, get a little lazy. Aatrox shows late. That means we know Diana started topside. So, I'm anticipating, as you see here, let's go to the E2, which again, you know, every time he uses it, right? Okay, he's got the second proc now, and now that goes on cooldown. It goes on that cooldown 8 seconds after the first cast. So, this is huge. Absolutely huge for AoE camp specifically. Now, high elo meta, not very adventurous or exciting. No, always looking for full clears. Here, you basically just want to track, you know, does Diana show here? Does she show here? Does she walk across a ward you might have placed in the river? Most likely, though, straight up. You've got the Thresh and the Kai'Sa here against a Xayah Lulu. Why are they buffing Lulu, man? This champion's already Omega strong, but nah. Whatever gets me out of the Rell, Alistar, Leona meta, because honestly, I do not value that as a skill. You see the ping here on the minimap. You should see this. Actually, it pauses the pings too. Didn't know that. He's basically saying, listen, alright, there's a potential for Diana doing this into a blue and perhaps even a deep flank. Or if this is not from Lee Sin, it's from the Diana, but I don't think that should be from her. That'd be kind of a random ping to throw out. It's just saying, listen, bot lane, keep your eyes out. You do not want to be caught out with an early flank. This isn't so much of an issue for the bottom lane because if Kai'Sa Thresh were pushed up for lane prio, which you shouldn't do, you know, you shouldn't do that whatsoever. Sorry, I'm skipping the Lee Sin. Because if you know Diana starts top lane and is coming down and your jungler is going up, then you don't want to push this and be in a position to be ganked. Lee Sin, as you can see, that's a Grump, using his stitching together of camps. Now, basically, you're looking at what? What are we looking at here? 315? Can we finish in 315? 316. 316 and a half. Brilliant. I'm not sure exactly what the clear timers were before this buff, but as you can see, fully finished 6 camps by the time Crab is up. We saw a plant hit by the down on the bottom side. Don't hesitate, go straight to the lane. If it's pushed up, free gank, always. Never hesitate for that. We saw that Diana hit this plant over here. We know, therefore, that she's on this crab. Now, because you kill top lane and you push the lane with the set, you're going to force a TP out here. I don't always like this. I mean, look at this. This is a huge mini wave. You've got a set who has E. You've got a Lee Sin. You can die here. This is a really silly TP to the minion. You know, I know you're trying to stall the wave crashing, but you're dead. And Lee Sin did a great job hanging around. Now, while that's happening, we know the Diana is doing this crab, right? She uses great pathing here to gank mid lane. And this is something you're going to have to notice if you are still busy top lane. Now, it's going to be difficult sometimes, obviously. Okay, it's going to be very difficult. I understand you're tower diving. You're not staring at the minimap at the same time. That's why this ward by the Galio, although placed a little early, you know, it's not really that great. I mean, you know Diana starts topside. You know she's bottom side. You know she's doing buck crab. Why? You know, this was placed a minute ago, so maybe he's thinking of a gank, but there's no way she does red camp sort of in ganks here at 250, you know? So the ward is always going to be better suited to being in this position given that she hasn't shown yet and she's on the bottom side. That would have avoided his losing Flash. Now, Lee Sin, okay, kills the Aatrox. You see then the Diana shifting to the top side. If you have any inclination or understanding that she's doing this to double crab you, you chose to gank top, you chose to push, you chose to re-kill, give up that crab. Please do not do low elo things and run into her and die. She will beat you and she will snowball. She will, 100%. You can see this. Let her do this. But this changes the nature of the game, you see. As Lee Sin, what you can do now is relax a little bit, because if Diana decided to steal this and gank this, you would know. If she decided then to go back to base, Lee Sin, after going topside here to get this double gank off, could easily take her level 4 Krugs in return, get the crab, and fall back to base. So you have that sort of pseudo-swap vertical jungling. But because the Diana chose instead to gank mid lane, because it was pushed up, and to double crab him, it allows him to keep control of his jungle, right? I hope you're following this. So now, what you can do is go directly to bottom lane. But you can see, look, I'm very close to level 5. Let me snipe this tier 2 Krug camp, all right? Keep an eye on the bottom lane while you're doing that. There's no reason really to over-focus on it. But because you know Diana double crabbed went up to Krugs, because you could see from our body language that was most likely what was going to happen, there's a possibility here of a few things. She can Krugs and reset, questionable. She can Krugs, Raptors, reset, and we can see actually the animation here, that's what it looks like. Alternatively, she could also simply clear this and gank top lane, knowing that top lane is kind of screwed. So Lee Sin knows, alright, I'll do the dragon. And it's a great dragon take, and if you are playing Volibear, and you're on the blue side of the map, this is a great way, in whatever elo you're in, hello Diana, to actually go ahead and get a huge lead for your team, because this is... I don't know why she would do this, to be honest with you. Obviously, this is Master Tier game, not GM or Challenger, so mistakes will occur at a higher frequency. I don't know why she would do that rather than just going back to base. The thing is, Diana really has a possibility of full sequencing again, but the longer you stay out here without any direct purpose, the more difficult it becomes to go back to base without losing something huge. You know, and the Lee Sin already took the dragon, so that's pretty big. But Diana 100% now, because she showed top lane, and we saw that, and we pressed tab, and we saw 40 CS, you know she did a full clear, she did double crabs, she did Krugs and Raptors again, and then she went back to base. So, Lee Sin knows 100% Diana should be sequencing to the bottom side. Now, Lulu shows, Qiyana shows, you have to be careful here. There you go, wards. Very, very careful of wards when you go mid lane and it's pushed in, because if there's two people and Diana shows up, there you go, you're gonna have a rough time. 40 CS still, which means we know she didn't do her Gromp and her Wolves. So that vision, her showing, very important. Lee Sin now stuck in a bit of a, not a paradoxical situation, but sort of like A or B. You just took all these camps and a dragon. Logically, if you're a sequencing, you want to go up and take this side, reset, and now you'll be back for red, you can gank bottom lane. But because you are not a sequencer, and because you know Diana has already taken tier 2 Raptors and Krug, and because you know she's in a blue side jungle, there's a high possibility she's going to do her Grump, but maybe look to gank bottom lane. Maybe she just does her Grump Wolves and then goes back down to bottom lane again. It's not efficient pathing, but it's filling the time with huge experience, and there's a random RNG crab spawning as well. So, her level, she'll be 6. Lee Sin's level also will be 6. But he has no camps to get him to 6, so his best bet here is trying to make something happen on bottom lane. Let's see. We have Thresh, Ultimate Enabler, Wall Hop, Flash. Perfect, we'll take that. That's fine. We get chunked a little bit by Xayah. People think she's Omega weak. She's, you know, not really in the meta, but I always think she's actually quite strong in lane. If you're a good ADC laner and you have a good support with you, you can do a lot of damage in solo queue with Xayah. Now, because we did that, you would have forced an action, I don't like this at all, from the Diana. We saw 40 CS, we saw go back up, she didn't show in the bottom lane gank, which means she 100% went to her Wolves, that's just a timing thing, okay? And now there's an RNG crab spawning, and Qiyana's been floating from mid into river multiple times already. Galio's in base, this dude is in base, he has TP, but you don't want him to use it now. Your red buff is a big, shining Christmas light saying, hey, look what's spawning. Everyone's invited. Unfortunately, we didn't invite them, Riot did with this change a few years ago. Still don't like it. And this is not a good one. This is not a good one. Because you know, bot lane can collapse. There's a plant that you didn't take at all. Qiyana's miss? No. Bad take. Bad. Just give it up. Give it up. I don't think we go for this. It's a 4v3, you see. And now you're dead. You know, Polish LeBron has died. Double kill for Qiyana. Mid laner is just, you know, Narcos meme. He's just looking around. Like, I was just relaxing, you know, going back to base, getting some atomization. Now the problem is, all right, if you just did this, you're 6. Okay, and then you could always look to repeat gank. Although I think it's kind of risky, but at least with Thresh you could. You know, Lulu has an ult, and you know Lulu isn't 6, and you know Xayah isn't 6. So using your 6 spike here, provided your vision control, is always a good idea. Problem being now, this guy moves. Whenever a top laner disappears and doesn't go back to base, and he's not like at a huge spike, I'm assuming if I'm dead or showing bottom lane that I'm just getting deep visioned. Especially in Master Plus specifically, but D2 Plus even you'll see some good top laners do it. In lower elos, it's not really going to be an issue, but still, keep an eye out for it, right? Now you've got this quandary. Do I go take my red and Krugs, or did Diana decide to go and maybe take all of that stuff? And the thing is, you don't actually know, right? You have to be kind of cautious here. We don't actually know if Diana is on the red. Ah, there you go, and she's 6 and you're not. And Lulu's rotating. Hello, Lulu. This is what I'm saying. Like, this is the decision. Making me look bad here. Objectively, this is not a good decision. It's risky. Kai'Sa didn't even move. And your elo, trust me, that Thresh isn't moving. So you 2v1, you die. Okay? The Thresh helps you out. And now because you hit that Q, that's very nice. You can go back in here. I like this. Alright? And you get the kill. And now you get 6. You can ward hop kick, hit the plant, and she dies. So that, well, mechanically, well played. You use your champion to make a play. And ultimately, at the end of the day, a decision can be high risk, high reward, like this one. And you have to rely on the strength of your champion and the strength of your mechanics. But at the same time, if it doesn't pay off, you're in a rough spot. But well played. Very well played. Still think it's risky to go for it blindly. Against a Rengar who had a lead on you, I think you just die. You know, Diana still is strong, but yeah. It works out because of mechanical prowess and skill. And that's a big thing in climbing, guys. Especially with things like Lee Sin. You cannot afford to sort of make those plays if you're not able to actually capitalize on them when they do happen. You need to have quick reactions. Diana then decides, you know what, I'm going to sequence top and get some kills on the top lane. Lee Sin says, I'm just going to fully sequence. I'm a bit behind. And now, let's have a look. Qiyana's busy mid lane. This plant was hit. We know she's on a red. Okay, Alpha moves. Nah, that's so tilting. And the reason he knew that, right, is because she ganked top lane and didn't have a blue buff. Oh no, that Q hits as well. Okay, we're just going on a clinic now. Lee Sin clinic. And this is why he's one of the best designed junglers, or the best designed jungler of all time, because he's allowed to make these plays in his kit. You know, him, Nidalee, at least to have these kind of abilities to do a lot of damage. At the same time, you know, greeting for this kind of stuff is difficult, because now you're kind of trapped. Okay, so he just goes for the flash. She goes invisible. He hits the Q&A, which is nice. He has to try and... Okay, good. It's probable that someone dies here. There you go. I'm not sure, you know, but the red buff fight, I think, is fine in a risk-reward situation. Here's kind of tough. I'm not going to say or lie to you guys that I wouldn't personally, if I could play Lee Sin at all or had any mechanics whatsoever, I'm not saying I would not go for this. I'm just saying there are inherent risks if the enemy mid rotates and so on. I mean, you don't have Galio ult up, so yeah. The set tries to make a play, but this is just straight 2v2 now, so. The advantages you accrue throughout the different phases of the game that give you gold leads, item leads, stat leads, dragon leads, and what have you, allow these plays to be made. You're going to give up the Herald here, but I think we can just flex it for a dragon. So it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. It's not a game-losing play. Diana's 4-1-2 though, and you're 2-2-4, so... Dragon is free, Lulu's patrolling the rivers, knowing this, bot lane rotates, Galio rotates, Diana takes the Herald, Galio ults, Xayah is forced to ult as well, Lulu ults on the Xayah, the Galio's peeling, they're able to take down the Xayah on the side, Galio loses track of Qiyana as well as whoever else was there. Lulu, that's it, I lost the name for a second. He's... Oh, okay. Okay, Diana's ahead now, though. Get out. Oh my goodness, it's tragic. Alright, remember that E on the Diana is absolutely huge if she doesn't hit the... We're going a little chasey. Chasey for Crab, chasey for Red, chasey for Aatrox, thirsty for Lulu. Wait. If you go for those plays and they don't work out, you lose games. You lose games, straight up, that's it. That's the bottom line. The problem is now, again, with these over-chasings, while you kind of end up doing a decent job, you're most likely losing Raptors, you're most likely losing Krug. So we can just head to the top side here. I think this is a good move, yeah. I mean, Diana right here has Herald. That will be first turret. That overcommits greatly to try and get it, though. Lee Sin just went to farm Gromp. He didn't even rotate to this. I mean, there's not much you can do, but I do like to try. No objective right now. No lane to gank. Kai'Sa is definitely a late game option for us. And we know our red buff is up and our Krugs are up, so let's go for those. Fine. RNG Crab topside, blue buff is spawning. Diana, we don't know exactly where she's going to go next, just because the behavior of the game sort of to get a little bit random. Things happen, people rotate. Counter jungling that wasn't expected happened. I could, in theory, see her going straight for blue side again, because we saw her when she collapsed on us, but that's not 100% guaranteed until you see her. Your jungle instincts have to come through. Kai'Sa's going very deep. If Diana is here, though, you have to be careful. You have to be careful. Although this Lee Sin doesn't seem to operate by that code. Ah, hello! He doesn't care. This is actually not so bad, though, because what happens is, right, you see you getting flanked by two people, and if you turn on them, you guys probably don't kill them or you die. We might as well guarantee our kills on the bottom lane who are low and easy for the Kai'Sa and the Lee Sin to take care of, and then try and get out somehow. The Galio is just wandering the rivers of despair. The Kai'Sa should be able to get out, unless the Diana's chasing. Ah, okay, the Diana's here as well, so that's actually not that bad. Execute. Good. We take that. Galio running around without ults. This is turning into a little bit of a messy fight. Messy game. Oh, Thresh, what a champion. What an absolute champion. In the meantime, the lead we got the set top lane, which is great. He is using it. Wonderful. You know, if you're going to give that much attention to top lane, double repeat gank, plus that collapse earlier on, we enjoy this. Now, when you reach this stage of the game, both junglers have 9 kill participations. The Lee Sin, without a doubt, his kills directly impacted the laners significantly more. And you can tell that by the state of top lane. You can tell that by the state of bottom lane. Yes, Qiyana is roaming because that's what she does. Talon, Qiyana, it's very irritating. Yes, the Diana is doing well, but the Diana's moves are inherently based on the Lee Sin's over-aggression plays. Yeah, she's kind of fighting this red, which is in theory a good take, right? You don't have bottom lane backup though, so you have to be confident in your 1v1, just like I talked about it in the off-meta jungling video on my main channel. She wasn't really getting her leads through sort of drastic action to control the flow of the game, which is why when you do get fed like the Diana does, it's not always necessary. It doesn't always necessarily mean you're going to win the game, because it's not really. Whoa, my goodness gracious! You know, that's one way to do it. The Lee Sin though. Okay, that's a really bad flash. Diana gets a triple kill. That was a really nice ult, right? Can he turn this? He can turn this. Omni Vamp. Oh, W comes in big. That is nutty though. That's a dragon. Mechanical outplays, what did I tell you? That's why people play Lee Sin, because most champions will not allow you to do what he just did. I still think we can go straight for the dragon. I have no idea why we're not going straight for the dragon. It's a third dragon. He had great dragon control. Great reads early and for the second one to get those. We just won a huge fight we had no business winning. Diana is disgusting. As a champion, disgusting. You saw that, right? She really got fed in that situation, but again, lost the fight in the end, gave shutdown to Lee Sin, who still got the dragon. So her kills are not amounting to much in terms of map pressure, whereas the Lee Sins are. And that's why this champion is so loved by so many, because if you have hands and mechanical ability, it's tilting to face. It's tilting to face, but... I want the Herald. Me as a human being, I want the Herald. These are level 11. I understand rotating that to try help. Set's on it, I think. I mean, he's got it. Because this is, I guess, you know, like borderline master tier, people start to do things properly. There's a bug on my light, caught my eyeball. If he gets it, fine, but I don't want to lose it. I don't want to risk losing it. You know, so in your elos, I would... Guess she dies. I guess she dies. I would go for this yourselves. It's unlikely the top lane is doing it. But if you can secure it and everyone else is somewhere else, then yeah, it's fine. But make sure you control those objectives. Don't lose it because you wanted your red buff and thought your top laner had it. I think here we've got a lot of gold. We haven't reset. And I think that's a big problem. I think this is a very, very big problem. I'm not going to lie to you. He is now full sequencing after a huge event. He got huge amounts of shutdown. A dragon. You could have easily reset after that and come back to the map. The map would have been there for him. You know, taking the red buff now and going back to base right after is not going to provide you any value. Because you can see our first frame here on a fight. Caught out and dead. And now if there was a Baron or another dragon up, you're screwed. And this is what happens a lot. Yes, your team should not be caught out. Yes, they should not die. But you're basically playing this game down like 4,000 gold now because you have not spent it. They're all freshly spent. And if you win it, okay, because you're so far ahead, that's fine. Like it looks like in this case. It's not the point. Alright? It's not the point. Not every champion has this just innate base existence that just allows you to do this. I definitely think he's a bit of a goblin here, sitting on way too much gold. But it works out, but that's results-based thinking. I don't think it was the right decision in the first place. Good job to rotate, though. Good job to rotate instead of keep farming. A lot of times, lower elo junglers will simply do this, keep farming, and say, guys, don't get caught out. Snowballing also takes place in your itemization. Can we go back to base now? You're making me nervous, man. Okay, take the blue and then go back to base. Yeah, that I agree on. At some point, you just have to stay out infinitely. Yeah, so this is a huge, huge snowballing moment for you. If you guys are ever this far ahead, and there's no real component or item you can finish, but you're gonna go GA, you're gonna go Steric's Gauge, you're gonna go Edge of Night, with typical Lee Sin build with the Eclipse, then building a BF sword or something just astronomically out of proportion, read into that what you will, to the game state or to your champion is absolutely fine in solo queue, because if there's a fight, they just cannot keep up with you. I think at this point now we're making a mockery and he should make a clickbait YouTube video. I only spent 5,000 gold and got 20 kills. Because that's what it looks like he's going for. See, now they're fighting bottom lane to try to take this tower. And if they start dying, and if everyone starts dying because you're busy farming and hoarding gold like you want to make a clickbait thumbnail, then, you know, it's not on them, it's on you. Yeah, I don't... He just wants to buy everything in the shop all at once, I'm convinced. It's just... What? Bad. Very bad. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Alright, what are we gonna buy? Let's see. Steric's Gauge, GA in 1, keep the Dirk for the... There you go. Okay. Oh, Super Snowballing Gaming is ready for the dragon. All we need here is... See, they're getting him picked off while he's just playing his own game. Again, fine in an elo where people can kind of still keep it together, but in your gold games, people are just gonna start throwing and you're gonna lose. Set a trap, get a pick, get the dragon. But you don't have your Kai'Sa, so now it's kind of difficult. Where are you going? This is what I mean. Can you guys... I'm trying to follow everything. Okay, Lee Sin's proc is... Yeah, I mean, you're fighting 5v4. I mean, you get the kill here, but you're fighting 5v4. Purely because we're just staying out way too long for comedy. I mean, he can handle himself. That's very much clear from this video. This guy's good at Lee Sin. But you're going to lose the Soul Priory here, which is an Ocean Soul, which is absolutely huge, not only for Lee Sin in this case, which we didn't even talk about, but also for Galio. Great for Sett. Great for basically everyone in the entire game, to be honest with you. That's what we call a throw moment. That's what we call a throw moment. Right, Baron's on the table. He just TP'd bottom lane, so there you go. Good job, Threshy. Make the pick. Now they can't do Baron without any inherent risk. Although she's still alive for some reason. Good. Yeah, that's a waste of... I mean, obviously you guys know I have issues with this. I still think we should have upgraded boots as well. The lack of mobility early on. Big issue. Big issue. But because Diana's dead and the Aatrox is dead, we can flex a Baron very easily. And that should be basically game control. Well played. Whoopsie. I don't think we missed anything, did we? Fine, I'll rewind. You know, very nicely done in that mid-game phase. Well played in the early game phase. Just a few high-risk, high-reward plays made possible by the mechanics of his champion. But as always, weigh the risks with the reward and decide if you have that capability as a player with your champion, you know? I can't make those plays with Ornn jungle. I can't make those plays with Zyra jungle. I can't make those plays with some of my more meta junglers, you know? We just don't have that skill expression and that snowball potential. But Lee Sin's, Rengar's, Kha'Zix's, Nidlee's, you 100% can make these plays. Well played. And it looks like that's going to be GG, so nothing really too interesting after that. I hope you understood the talk about pathing and swapping the map and things like this. The Diana definitely played well and won some team fights, but I don't think there's any question that the Lee Sin was controlling the tempo of the game, that the Lee Sin was controlling the dragons, that the Lee Sin deserved to win this game. And even though his laners, you know, at times were questionable, overall, they performed very well. Assist Kai'Sa, by the way. But there you have it. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed and learned something. Please do leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy the channel. Don't forget to head to the main channel. We have different kinds of videos there, as well as more in-depth tutorials. Coaching link is in the description, and as always, I will see you all. Not when Lee Sin will see us, that's for sure. In the next tutorial.